Okay, so in this video we're going to move on to how to fill out probability tables, and this is just a slightly more difficult version of the basic probability knowledge that we've done in the previous video. So just a reminder that all probabilities add up to 1, and to work out a missing probability, therefore, we can add up the ones that we do know and then subtract from 1, and that will become more clear when we start looking at some examples. So if we look at this first question here, it's a very common style exam question. So it says there are yellow discs, red discs, blue and green in a bag. David's going to choose one at random. The table shows each of the probabilities that David will take red, blue or green. Work out the probability he'll take yellow. So we know that all of these things add up to make 1, okay? So yellow plus red plus blue plus green add up to make 1. So we don't know what yellow is, but because we know that they all add up to make 1, what we can do is subtract these from 1, and whatever's left over will be what the probability of yellow is. So first things first, what we're going to do is add these other probabilities together. And when you add these up, you get 0.7. So if we're going to work out yellow, we then have to do 1 minus 0.7, because whatever's left over must go here, and that's 0.3. Okay, and you can just double check. 0.3 and 0.2 is 0.5, add 0.15 is 0.65, add 0.35 is 1. Yep, that works, so that makes sense that that is yellow, and that's it. Okay, slightly tricky one, this one. It says, here's a 4-sided spinner. The table shows the probabilities that it will land on 2 or 4. The probability that it will land on 1 is the same as the probability that it will land on 3, okay? And we need to work out what those are. So same thing, these 4 things added together add up to 1, but we don't know what these 2 are. So if we're going to work out what these 2 add up to, we can subtract these 2 from 1. So first things first, 0.3 add 0.1 is 0.4. And if you subtract that from 1, you get 0.6. So we know that these 2 add up to 0.6. They don't equal 0.6 because otherwise when you added them up, they'd be too big. It would go over 1. But these 2 together add up to make 0.6. Okay? So if they're the same, then we know that these must be equal. And so to work out what they are, we can just divide 0.6 by 2. And you get 0.3. So that means that they're both the same and they both add up to 0.6. Just double check, 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, 0.1, they add up to 1 whole. So that makes sense. So the answer is 0.3. Okay, so make sure that you've got those written down and understood, and then move on to the your turn questions. Pause the video, come back to see how you did. So have a go at these questions. Okay, so let's have a look at the first one together. So same thing, things in a bag. We need to add these up first. So 0.32, add 0.4, add 0.18, we get 0.9. So to work out what blue is, we have to do 1 minus 0.9, which is 0.1. And that's that. And this one here, these 2 probabilities are the same. So the first thing we have to do is do 0.15, add 0.25, which gives us 0.4. Then subtract from 1, you get 0.6. And then divide it by 2 because they're both the same, and you get 0.3. And that's that. So make sure that you've got those correct, and then move on to the worksheet that your teacher will give you, and you can see the answers to those here. So here's the first question on the worksheet. These are taken directly from exams. So we need to work out the probability of it landing on a 2. So we have to add these up. 0.2, add 0.4, add 0.1, and you get 0.7. Subtract it from 1, you get 0.3. And the next one. Again, we're going to add these up first. So 0.40, add 0.25, add 0.15, you get 0.8, subtract it from 1, and you've got 0.2. So that must be what yellow is, 0.2. And the last question, The probability of landing on a 2 is the same as it landing on a 4. So first things first, 0.2 add 0.1 is 0.3. Subtract it from 1 and you get 0.7. So these two add up to make 0.7 and they're the same. So we can divide 0.7 by 2 to work out what one of them is, and you get 0.35. And that's it. So all you're using is the knowledge that these all add up to 1, okay? And this is just the exam's way of asking you that. So that's that. Move on to the exit card that your teacher has sent you.